We'll talk about the ABC Company background. ABC Company has a global chicken restaurant with a rich brand, which is the most popular and well-known chicken restaurant among people across the world. The mission of the company is to maximize profitability, improve shareholder value, and deliver sustainable growth year after year. The vision of the company is to provide food in a quick, pleasant setting that caters to cost-conscious, health-conscious, and health-conscious people. ABC Company always looking forward for business growth by making various incentives to attract its customers to buy their products. This company restaurant have recipes that have 11 secret herbs and spices created by Colonel Helen Sanders, who is more than 75 years that prepare delicious chicken. The main product of ABC restaurant is pressure-fried on the bone chicken pieces. The major product of this company is chicken sandwich and a variety of finger and the side dishes such as French fries, dessert, and soft drink. At first, this company used stove-covered cooking pots to fry its chicken, but now this company uses pressure fryers made by Henny Penny, which supply ABC Company with various equipment. The major markets for ABC Company include United States, Japan, Russia, China, South Africa, United Kingdom, Thailand, Indonesia, Australia, Canada, and Malaysia. The first ABC restaurant in Malaysia is located at Jalan Tunku Abdul Rahman in 1973 and currently has over 600 restaurants of ABC Company serving Malaysian a great tasting chicken, and the current owner is Tan Sri Jamaluddin Ibrahim.
The two techniques that have chosen to identify risks that occur in ABC Company is checklist techniques and analysis of financial statement. Checklist techniques are efficient as have been shown time and again to help organize, eliminate errors, maintain consistency, boost efficiency, and productivity. For example, the table below is one of the annual safety inspection techniques in checklist techniques that have been used by ABC Company. We can assume that checklist is a standardized list of essential steps that is typically created for repetitive jobs. A checklist encourages workers to act and complete tasks, so by this we can identify the existing and potential risks in ABC Company. Next is analysis of financial statement. By using the financial statement as a tool, it can help in identifying any risks. ABC Company performed better in 2021 than the other years. The company is more solid and has a higher return on investment. ABC Company has able to adopt and attract staff based in majority of its locations, which has enhanced efficiency and management in its service. The financial statement analysis using information produced from all the assessment to make top decisions such as raising operating efficiency, improving its chains, and generating new opportunities. Next, existing and potential risks. The existing risks that occur in ABC Company are people risk, operational risk, and for the strategic type of risk include economic risk, demographic risk, and political risk. All these types of risks surely will affect the company operations in many ways, such as potentially affecting the company's finances. The operation risk seen and faced all year. Next, potential risks that may affect the ABC Company in the meantime are interest rate risk, price risk, natural disaster risk, example flood, earthquake, reputation risk, property liability risk, political risk, and also financial risk. ABC Company works in a variety of international markets all around the world and is exposed to a variety of hazards in its operation, not all of which are under the business control.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhammad Iskandar bin Fajar Karim, and now I will tell you about the risk management technique. First, there is two main ways to clarify risk management technique, which is risk control and risk financing. As for the risk control, it is to preventing losses from happening, and risk financing is for paying for this loss or anything that they should occur. For the risk control, they are separate into four parts, which is risk avoidance, loss control, separation, and contractual transfer. As for the loss control, it is also separated into two parts, which is loss prevention and loss reduction. As for the risk financing, it is also separated into three parts, which is retention, captive, and insurance.
Risk implementation, low severity and low frequency, interest rate risk. Financial using interest rate or in other interest rate. Non-financial, the interest rate flow to defend an outstanding floating rate loan against lowering interest. Next, low severity and high frequency, price risk. Financial short selling, non-financial diversification to mitigated price. Next, high severity and low frequency, property liability risk. Financial higher employers come an extra cost, and non-financial avoid anything that might lead to the risky situation. Next, high severity and low frequency. Financial employs someone to dig the drain, and non-financial seek insurance coverage. Next, high severity and high frequency, reputation risk. Financial taking on the role of encryption professional to improve cyber security. Non-financial treat all employees equally. Next, high severity and high frequency, political risk. Financial paying for the expert from experts who specialize in researching a country business. And non-financial, avoid investing in nation that has a high risk rating. Next is high frequency and high severity, financial risk. Financial, keeping multiply emergency saving, and non-financial seek insurance coverage.
Demographic risk can be reduced through using new technology to boost sales by making an advertising to attract customers, such as advertise food that offer a healthy menu because a lot of people shifted to a healthy diet. Next, political risk for ABC company can be reduced and mitigated through political risk insurance and guarantee that enable investor and lender of ABC company to transfer the political risk to third party, and consultation with government and political leaders can help investor and lender to be up to date about the national development plans and policy change to help company make the quick adjustment in line with political change. Interest rate risk can be mitigated through interest rate swap and interest rate futures. Interest rate swap can be used to hedging the interest rate risk that restricted to the banks that are dominated by private sector banks and foreign banks that are suitable for global company like ABC company. And interest rate future is an future contract that can provide counterparty of ABC company with less risk, with lessening of default and liquidity risk to the inclusion of the intermediary.
Price risk described as the probability of a drop in the value of a share or an investment portfolio related to a range of factors other than a market downturn. As example, reduce the risk even further by an investor could buy stock from a variety of companies in different industries or from a different area of the world. It may be mitigated by investing in financial derivatives such as future trading. A future contract means a party to fulfill a transaction at a fixed price. Depending on the contract, an option gives the buyer to buy or sell the security, so they are not obligated to provide it. Next, natural disaster risk is the use of disaster risk reduction policies and techniques to prevent new disaster risks. The first step is the prevention. Mitigating activity and producers are often less expensive than disaster release and reaction. Second is the transfer process. This is the practice of implicitly or informally shifting the financial implication of specific risk from one party to another, which generates revenue from the other party after a disaster. Moreover, installing a Installing early warning system, determining evacuation routes, and planning emergency supplies must be undertaken. To mitigate this form of a risk, government, civil society, and others must be held responsible, for example, through institutional arrangement and law, as well as channels for enforcement and responsibilities. Any threats to a company reputation is reputational risk. One of the most important risk management considerations is the brand and reputational damage. Business can manage and mitigate operation risk by providing the optimum protection against reputation loss. Both traditional reputation risk drivers and emerging forms of digital media reputation hazards. Investigate the organization's shortcomings and establish important reputational qualities. Employees at all levels should brainstorm scenarios that could harm public impression, as they may have unique contributions. Standardized technology regulations and the all process also help to lessen the frequency and severity of reputation damaging events.
Now, I'm going to talk to you about risk mitigation about the property liability risk. Property liability risk, or in other words, liability operational risk, is more precisely the risk of being held accountable or responsible for an action or inaction that results in a direct or indirect financial loss. The best outcome for this kind of risk is insurance coverage, and there are various types of insurance coverage. First one, straight deductible. Straight deductible demands payment for any losses that are less than a certain threshold in money. For instance, if the firm pays an amount of 1,000 deductible on the collision coverage portion on your auto insurance policy, you are responsible for paying the full amount of any loss up to 1,000 ringgit. Number 2, franchise deductible. Comparable to a straight deductible, but this one is the full amount of loss is covered once the loss amount reaches the deductible. Now I'm going to talk about the political risk. Political risk is the possibility that a country's political unrest or change could have a negative impact on an investment result. Change in the executive, judicial, legislative, or military branches of government may cause instability that has an impact on investment return. There are two ways to mitigate this political risk. First, control your credit risk. A key component of effective credit risk management is gaining a true understanding of a bank's overall credit risk by looking at risk at the individual, client, and portfolio levels. While banks work to have a comprehensive picture of their risk profile, a lot of data is frequently dispersed throughout the business derivation. Second, ensure your supply chain. Due to interconnectedness and complexity of today's supply chain, even a single incident can cause your business to be disrupted. Finally, I'm going to talk about the financial risk. The risk of losing money on an investment or business venture, credit risk, liquidity risk, and operational risk are a few of more prevalent and distinct financial hazards. Financial risk is a type of risk that could cause interest parties to lose money. The ways to mitigate this is to keep emergency fund on hand. Having an emergency saving account helps mitigate the risk of being unable to cover unplanned costs like medical bills, broken appliances, and other equipments. Second, avoid debt. Interest charges on debt can solve, putting any person or corporation in a vulnerable financial situation. An individual or corporation may become unable to pay their debts even after a minor alteration. Living and avoiding debt when possible, it's crucial to develop a financial habit of living within one's means.
Okay, next, people risk. People risk is the biggest risk in company. This is because people risk involves people such as employees and employer. Therefore, everything they do will affect company reputation. 2 steps to mitigate people risk. First, recognize the problem and the main individual. Analysis and identify valuable employees are a perfect way to start. Score those workers based on the level of their risk they offer, high, medium and low. Second, create a succession plan by giving authority to a firm employees, starting with a list of the tasks they complete as the key person to document their job, all the work they done, all the work they doing listed in inventory. All this record keep in common knowledge repository. There might be operational risk. Operational risk is the main risk in a business. Operational risk happen when there is any problem or failed internal process, people, system or external event. Two steps to mitigate operational risk. First, taking care of equipment. Sometimes technology that is used to conduct company might get failure, so you must keep information safe. Ensure that all equipment is in good condition and making sure to have a backup plan. Second, determine the probability of risk using a risk map. Analyze the potential damage to the organization. Put the risk event into risk category. This is because by doing this, management will be more ready to face this economic risk that an investment made in foreign nation face because of changes in business circumstances or the negative impact of microeconomic variable. Two steps to mitigate economic risk. First, investing in assets such as international mutual funds. Invest in firms situated everywhere in the world, not only Indonesia where is an investor like. This is because can get profit from the growth of different economy and maximize our return. Second, recognize how market pattern and growth pattern. The ability to seek and complete pattern assists us in navigating many of life basics. Understanding market pattern is key to help maximize earning.
For the conclusion, risk management process is important for ABC company to reduce the risk of the company that can bring a negative impact to companies such as incur higher cost for the risks that occur. So, it is better to reduce or prevent the risk, to reduce the company cost and organization exposure to the risk. And if something goes wrong, there will be already strategy in place to deal with the situation.